Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Andrew McCart, iFLTV. I'm delighted to be joined by Frank Warren. Frank, you've got a nickname for Charlie, Oats and Barley. Have you got one for me yet?
Curly.
Curly. I've got no hair, but I'll take it.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, let's talk about it then. Obviously, the 5v5, the fighters are all weighed in. That press conference with the face-offs, I mean, this is intense. I mean, there's joking and back and forth, friendly banter between you and Eddie, but these fighters, I mean, there's none of that with these five.
Not at all. This is business. This is probably, for all of them, the most important fight up to now for some of them, and also for the ones who've been around a while, like Big Bang, Deontay. These are must-win fights. For all of them, they're must-win fights. And, you know, you could see it. I've never seen, I mean, it wasn't one face-off. It was just like, you know, every face-off, they were getting in each other's eyes, all trying to get that mental edge. And you can see all of them are up for it. There was no, you know, nobody sort of blinked, really. You know, I'm standing there watching. Nobody blinked. They was really full on, and they all feel that they're going to win the fight. So we're going to get some cracking action, and I think we're going to see some really explosive fights. No doubt about that.
Well, the explosive fight, I think that is going to be the most explosive on that card tomorrow night is going to be Zhang and Wilder. I just want to get your thoughts on Zhang's comments that Eddie's kissing Wilder's ass for a promotional contract. I mean, funny, but you know.
How can I argue with Big Bang? He's bigger than me.
Obviously, there's been so many interviews this week where it's like, what's the worst thing about Eddie Hearn? What's the best thing about Eddie Hearn and all that sort of stuff? But I won't go there because you've answered that on numerous times. But I will say, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh has mentioned a UK versus US sort of 5v5. If that does come ahead, will you be working with Eddie and yourself to make those 5 fights like maybe half a Matchroom, half a Frank Warren's Queensberry? What do you think on that?
It's an intriguing and something intriguing and a great concept, and I'm sure something we'd all like to do. No doubt about that. And I'd like to see more of Matchroom v us, v Queensberry. I mean, you know, it's a great concept, and it's captured the boxing's public's imagination, and I think there's a lot of legs in this. We're going to see a lot more of this.
What are you going to feel like if Eddie Hearn wins this? I know he's not going to win this in your eyes, Frank, and that plane journey home and all that, but deep down, I know the fighters are more important, but on a little personal note, how are you going to feel if Eddie does win this?
I'm going to be gutted. I want to win it, don't I? That's what we're here for. We're you know, my fighters are winners, and I want them to continue winning. And he feels the same way, and it'll be a long journey back on that plane, that's for sure, for the loser. And it is what it is. I'm a bad loser, a very bad loser, there's no doubt about that. We will be obviously gracious at the end, but I don't think that's going to happen. You know, it's only in my head that we're going to win this.
I spoke with Spencer Brown last night, I believe, and we were talking about the rematch with Fury and Usyk, and he said that he spoke with Usyk's team, and Usyk's got a fractured orbital, a fractured jaw, obviously the 9th round for Tyson Fury. Now, we've seen that sometimes when a fight date is announced, sometimes it does have to get pushed forward. Do you see December 21st happening, or do you think that's too soon for these guys?
No, he'll have time to recover. I mean, I heard he had, his manager told me he had an impacted implant. Because originally I was there when the doctor and they were all talking, he was saying he had to go to the hospital for a CT scan. They felt he might have fractured his jaw, then they said they hadn't. And then I've heard since he's done his eye. But irrespective, whatever it is, he's got plenty of time to recover. That's why it's a blessing in disguise that it's been pushed back. Fighters have been in camp for well over 6 months. They had a little break while Tyson got the cut, which is probably about 3 weeks. That's a long time to be away from your family, continually working. And for me now, rest up, both of them, rest up, chill out, spend some time, switch off from boxing with your family. They can do that for hopefully for the next 3 months, and then they'll tick over, get back into it, and prepare for what I believe will be an even better fight than the first. You know why? Because they've been in the ring, they've shared the ring with each other, and they know each other, and they both will have it in mind what they should have done. Usyk will be saying, that 9th round, why didn't I do this? Tyson will be saying, the end of that was at 6th, 7th round, why didn't I, where he caught him with the uppercut and he walked back, why didn't he? And that's what it'll be. They'll analyse it and look at it and see what changes and how they can adapt. They both got great boxing brains. I'll tell you what they showed in that fight was grit, true grit, an epic battle, the biggest, best heavyweight fight of the 21st century. You know, it goes down with a Thriller in Manila, it goes down with a Rumble in the Jungle, and we had the Ring of Fire in Riyadh. I mean, you know, this is epic.
Have you spoke with Tyson since the rematch been
I
announced?
spoke with him obviously on the night, and I spoke with him. I only called him once whilst when he got back, just to make sure he got home and he was all okay. And he was, you know, he was disappointed. He felt that he'd done enough to win, but that's, you know, and I felt he did. But I'm not complaining about that. It was a close fight. Good judges gave it a draw. A couple of my friends thought that Usyk won, and I've heard a couple of people also I respect saying Tyson nicked it. It was close. One thing's for sure, it was epic, and it takes two fighters to make an epic fight, not one, two. And they gave everything and gave their all. And when I spoke with him, the first thing he said, I want the rematch.
Good stuff. Frank, it's been a fun week. We've seen your smile on your face. I'm going to put a damper on it right now. Obviously, the Buatsi Yarde thing, and obviously the WBO putting an extension on that due to a contractual disagreement on Yarde's lawyers. That's what they said, is a contractual disagreement with yourself and Anthony Yarde. A little bit of disappointment in your views on it all?
Yeah, I'm disappointed we're even at this stage. It should have been sorted out, but it hasn't been, and they've decided the path they've on. He's taken advice from his team, including his lawyer, and the bottom line of all of it is that we are where we are. Purse bids are there. There's been a lot of, there was a bit of going backwards and forwards over purses, the monies were expected, which were, you know, just totally, you know, fantasy land as far as what was being asked. We're at purse bid situation now. I hope he doesn't pull out, because that's where you're going to find out the true value of the fight, because anybody can bid for it. You bid for the fight and you will find out what your true worth is.
Frank, from the outside looking in, when we look at your relationship as fans from the Kovalev fight, like what Charlie said, up until probably this present day, we're looking at the Frank and Anthony Yarde relationship like this is amazing. But what?
I've not had a crossword. We've not had a crossword. In fact, the last thing I had with him was a couple of months ago. It was a text. It was a nice text between the two of us. A couple of personal things in there, which I'm not going to go into. It's totally nothing to do with boxing, and it was just. It's sad. I don't want to be in this position. I really, really respect Anthony for what he's done, for a guy who had 11 amateur fights coming into boxing, what he's done, where he's got to. And I supported his manager when he was getting a lot of stick, and the team. And it's, you know, we are where we are, and it is very disappointing, but I can't change it. He's obviously getting advice from his team, and he trusts them, and he's loyal to his team. It's disappointing we've not been able to resolve this, but that's his choice. That's his choice. He's, you know, he knows where he's at. He knows where he's going. It's a bit mad from my perspective, because even if the worst case scenario, you're thinking about, for whatever reason, you know, we are in this position, that all the light heavyweight fights are all happening. The ones that matter are happening here. And he should be part of that. And he was offered a couple of fights. Well, not him personally. I offered the fights to his team, and we got a negative response for best career purses as well. But look, it is what it is. I ain't going to change it by talking about it. It will resolve itself out one way or another, and it's disappointing. But I do genuinely feel, and I've seen this happen in the past, because I'm old enough to have seen it, where guys go down this road and they regret the advice they got. Because if you're not accepting, or you don't want to be involved in what's going on, you've got to have a plan B. And I'll be interested to know what the plan B is.
Listen, on a good note then, this 5v5, like I said, it's been fun this week. The back and forth between you and Eddie, the intense between the fighters, all 5 of these fights. This is only the last time I probably speak to you until fight night, Frank. One rallying call and one final message to Eddie Hearn.
Eddie, I'm going to pick the restaurant that we're going to for this bet we've had, so you make sure you get that old credit card out, because I'm going to really hit it big time. We're going to have a winners lunch or a dinner. I'm not sure which one. We've got to make our decision where it is, what the restaurant is, but I promise you'll enjoy the food. You'll enjoy the food, and we have got, and what we've done for you. You'll notice in that dressing room, in the matchroom dressing room, just parked up on the side there's a large box of Kleenex for you.
Frank, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, Frank.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.